Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Snapshots and Stories. Wow.
Hi.
So, the summer is almost over. And Kate,
Easy.
you've been working
Going
like
back to
a
school.
crazy person on your garden.
Yes,
So,
it's very busy year of just transforming the property into maybe some of its old glory. We'll see.
well, you were fortunate enough to have somebody who was a real gardener who had the house before you, and I've had the pleasure of walking around. Not lately. I'm
Mm.
going to come up and see that
Oh,
beautiful
I
work
love
that you're
that.
doing. Yeah,
Yes.
and but what a beautiful place. So man, photography haven right there.
It is
That
for
should you
photography
should have a
haven, but
sign,
so
put a sign up and right on the thing, and as soon as people
yeah,
walk through, photography haven.
you're onto something there for sure. I actually do have a sign for the house to put down by the road. I just have to get a sign. Like the sign is ready. I just need a sign post to hang it from.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
Yeah, I can't wait to put it up. Yeah.
All right, well,
So yeah, you've been so
today
busy, right?
we are going to talk about getting ready. We're going to talk about what it takes to do a shoot. Now, it's funny. I think we talked about it a little bit before when I think we talked about that big band that I shot down at St. Stephen or St. Andrews, wherever I was. I can't even remember. Fredericton,
I know
someplace,
what you mean. Yeah.
someplace in New Brunswick,
Yeah.
and the preparation that it took. Now, what
Hmm.
people see when they walk in, if there's somebody who hired you, is seeing you just take your camera and lots of times, if you're really good and really prepared, going click, click, click. Thank you very much. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes that way if you're only doing one scene or one look, and then sometimes it takes hours and hours. And so a lot of it's got to do with preparation. With the level of success that you have in your photo has a lot to do with the preparation, I should say. So, Kate, let's talk a little bit about uh, the keyboard player that you shot not that long
Yes.
ago, because I think
Yeah.
you've got quite a little story behind that.
Yeah. It's so I have a little studio in my house, and so I've been shooting in it for about a year. So like I know, so like I'm still pretty new. I would say I'm new to the studio world. I only have like a total of maybe three lights, but I have a lot of natural light coming into my studio as well, which I do like to use on occasion. Um, but so I had this keyboardist message me, and she wanted to do a studio shoot, and in particular, she wanted it to reflect this project that she was working on, very like kind of a light, airy nature composition, piano composition that she was working on. And then
Mhm.
she also wanted it to reflect a bit of a professional vibe that she could use online on her website. So she was very particular with what she wanted. And so I would say she messaged me a good 2 or 3 weeks before we decided on a session date.
Mhm.
So I knew right away I didn't have what she and I kind of decided on for like a backdrop and just different kind of process. I never had a keyboard in my studio as well, and
Mhm.
there was really no way to practice with a keyboard until she showed up. Keyboard's big, like that's a big, you might say like an awkward prop to just have like in your studio. And I just didn't know anybody that had one. I'm sure like maybe some people do go
Yeah.
have one. Anyways, I didn't have access to one. So anyways, I use myself as a model to practice. Just kind of I put a piano bench like maybe where I thought it would be. I went out and bought well, I didn't go out and bought. I ordered an Amazon backdrop and some different drapes and just kind of things to give it like a neutral, soft kind of, but also like an airy kind of look.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, so that if she so just kind of regroup, if she had showed up or like was like, I want to shoot come in tomorrow and have this done, I would not have been able to accommodate her because I had to, number one, like kind of just think about, I met with her online to like talk about what she wanted. And then I had to really think and like about, something unique for her, something that wasn't done with somebody else, and just how I was going to execute that and feel comfortable bringing her in. So I would say it took a good couple weeks for me to get ready for that shoot. I ordered the things, I
Wow.
tried some different setups, and then the full 24 hours before is when I nailed down like the lighting. I would sit, take pictures of myself, try different, light here, a light there,
Hmm.
or whatever. So, but knowing full well that when she came in, she was gonna have like this keyboard that well, it'd just be this massive prop in the studio I'd never used. Um, anyways, so she comes in, she's lovely, she looks lovely, and the keyboard is there, and we start shooting. And I just get this overwhelming feeling that like the artificial light was just it was too much. And even when I would dial back the light, it was still just a little harsh around the edges. And I was just like, you know what? I'm turning off the lamps, I'm turning off the lights, I'm opening up like the big curtain, and I'm readjusting my camera settings to
Hmm.
for our for the natural light to be our main light. And it was risky because it wasn't what I practiced. I had not practiced that. And anyways, it ended up being what we chose to do. It just seemed the softness of it and like the diffusion of the light that we had on that day, like actually worked out perfectly. So I will pop open. I'm just going to share the screen just to kind of show
Okay.
you what I mean. So keep in mind, like this is a studio that normally I would just black out the natural light, but I opened up the curtain, turned off the artificial light, and this is what we got. I'm trying to do this without wobbling too much. So
Oh, okay.
let me show my screen. Don't know if you can see that.
I do.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So this was a mirror that was there. So that was, just a little reflection shot. And then that just the natural light, a little bit of like two tone, kind of like a little bit of what do you call
Yeah.
that? Split light on her face, just natural.
Yep.
Um, which I liked. She liked it as well. That as well, you can kind of see as well the split light on her face, but just the soft light just went with the neutral tones that we kind of wanted. And you can see like in the back, it's a beigey kind of backdrop, and that drape that you see is like a silky kind of drape, and then there's some dried plants off to the side to kind of give it that dimension.
Right.
But overall, I feel that the natural light was right for her, and we were both really happy with what we got. So
So go back a couple of shots. That one right there. I guess it
yeah,
doesn't
we've
matter.
looked at this
I,
before.
I just want I
Yeah.
just want one I can see the environment. So how long did it take you to put that together?
So okay, so once I got all of the props, like the backdrop and the drape, and just kind of
Hmm.
positioning everything.
Yeah.
It did take, I would say it took a full, obviously I wasn't shooting for 24 hours, but
Right.
I had to run through it the day before I was comfortable having her show up.
Right. But
Um,
I guess
so,
what
but
I'm
again, if
getting
somebody, it's, yeah, yeah,
what I'm I guess questioning is for you to pick out the material, to get the material, and then to finally
yes,
put it up on the wall. I mean, if you already had it laying
yeah,
around, that's wonderful. But then to
exactly,
choose the background that you chose to go along with those curtains, and this was all done with uh, 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 flash involved or flash in mind. You were going to use your
yes,
strobes, right? And then all of a sudden you
yes,
just said the heck with it, threw it out the window, so to
yeah,
speak, and then just
exactly,
use the same environment, same everything, just with natural
yeah,
light.
yes, exactly. Yeah, so it was a change in plans for sure, but I would say to kind of like put it all together. Somebody messages me and they're like, "Oh, I want this very particular shoot." I would say I need a week. I need a week to get ready to, get the props in the background that I need, and
Yeah,
then to have at least a solid evening or some, solid few hours to practice before, bringing a paying client into the studio. You just want to
yeah,
be sure that, you're not wasting their time and their money,
yeah,
and like you can guide them with a competent hand because that's why they're there. So and if that's my example, kind of how even though I did plan at the last minute, there was still a switch because the client, like the vibe, it can change. Like you just when you see somebody in person or something gets rolled, you have to know your style and maybe recognize a few key elements of their own style to perhaps flip at the last minute if you need to. And I feel like that
yeah.
is the sign of a professional. where it's like if you have to go off script if that's what's needed.
I think that
So
happens a
that's my
lot.
example. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Yeah, I'm
terms
gonna
of
stop
going
sharing.
off script, people come to shoot
Yeah.
with you've got it in your head exactly what you want. You kind of know the angles you're going to shoot, all of that, and then all of a sudden the person's there and it changes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think that's the
I
fun part because that's the part um,
I
your
love it.
creative
I love
juices
it.
just got to get flowing. I noticed too on all of those photos actually, you were shooting really shallow,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Because I wanted the background to be an idea. I didn't want it to be like so sharp, like, oh, you're sitting in a beige room with grapes. I kind of wanted to be like, oh, you're kind of like in a soft environment. It looks kind of like
Yeah,
a place for someone to be playing soft piano music,
yeah,
with a flair, like a nature flair or something like that, like
yeah.
earth tone kind of thing. So
Well, you
yeah,
pulled it off. There's
but
no
overall,
question.
really happy. Thank you.
Yeah, no question. I'm sure she was happy. But
Yeah, me too.
but she wouldn't have seen all of that going in because she's just showing up and this is already there. And I'm looking at this as a say as a potential client, and I'm looking at those photos, and the only thing I'm seeing, and obviously you did the right thing by how you shot it, but the only thing I'm seeing is her. But being a photographer, I'm looking around the environment now because this is really
Yeah,
cool. But as just a person looking at that photo, thinking, I'd like to have a photo like that. I'm just seeing her hand up and her. That's all I'm seeing. But the environment is supporting that whole mood. And anyway, so that's people don't realize the time it takes to put that together so that when you
yeah,
show up, you're going to have like a complete and the aura about your shot, right? Not just a picture of you, because you can just go to a front of
yeah,
a black screen and shoot that,
yes.
right?
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So yeah, you just want your client to be like super relaxed and the model to be just you
Yeah,
want them to feel like they are like being immersed in your art because they're there for that.
yeah,
So
yeah. No,
anyways,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
So
funny what we go through as photographers because we still haven't even come up with the idea of the idea. So somebody calls us up, like in your case, she reached out to you,
yeah,
and you said, "Yeah, I'd like to do that." You would have a little consult. So that's when it
yeah,
all starts. Is right there. It's because they could say, "So,
yes,
what are you looking for? What are you all about, and what is it that you're trying
yeah,
to convey with this imagery?" Right. So there you've already spent, maybe an hour discussing
mm,
that. So now you already get an
yeah,
hour in. You hang up the
yes,
phone,
exactly.
then you go on wherever you go to get your ideas to what you're doing. I use
Yeah,
Pinterest a lot and get some
yeah,
ideas of
same.
how I want to look at it and how I want to light it and all that stuff. And then you got to take
Yeah,
that and send it back to them. And
yes,
then between the
yes,
two of you, now you're spending another hour figuring out,
yeah,
the angles and all that. And then and
yes,
then then you do what you did. You got to take all that material, find the material, put it together, the right background, the right angles, and all that. And after all of that, the only thing that you changed was strobes to natural light, which I think was obviously the right thing. You did the right thing
yeah.
because that
That's a huge
photos,
change.
oh man,
Yeah,
huge. But it
yeah,
it gave you the softness that you were looking for. So
yes, exactly.
sometimes if you're not careful, strobes can be hard. If your
Yeah,
light sources are
yeah,
really small, they can be hard. But a
yeah,
natural window creates so much more light that you're getting a lot
yes,
softer light to begin with. So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
fantastic work,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
as
thank you.
usual.
Yeah.
All right,
So, yeah, what do you got for us?
so I'm going to talk a little bit about something totally different than what we just looked at with you, because what
Hmm.
we looked at with you was a concept that came from a client seeking you out. What we're going to see here now is a concept that I had in my head that I had to get out in the form of a photograph. So I spent a lot of time on this one, but basically what it comes down to is the concept. I watched a video. I was actually inspired by a video I saw. Gavin Howie, actually from Adorama TV, did a video which inspired me to do this one because I want to see if I could do it, but I put my
Hmm.
own little spin on it. So I watched it, And in fact, one of the products that he was peddling, I even bought because I thought that's going to be so much fun. So I got that too, and decided to put this thing together. Now I'm going to show you the photos first. Now let me just see if I can make that happen. Just hang on a sec here, and I'll get
You're
the
gonna show
first
us the end
photo.
result first?
I'm going to show the end result first, and then I'll show you
Okay.
how we got it all put together. All right, let me just, there it is. Okay. So let me see if I can make this work, number one. There we go. Okay. So this is what we call the mad scientist. This is the mad scientist scene
Wow.
that I had in my head for the longest time. The individual you're seeing right there is my friend Waylon, and he is like the perfect mad scientist. He's
He
got the perfect
is.
hair, the perfect attitude. This
He was
guy
born for
is
that.
he was born for it. He's born for it.
Yeah.
He should live up in the top of an old castle, at the top of the room with lightning going, and that's
Oh
that's
yeah, the
where he should
lightning.
be. So,
Yeah.
so this is one of the shots. I'll just show a couple of the shots that we went through. That was one of them. This one's another one. So once you get the scene put together, then you can start having fun. Now you can't really see, but there's actually somebody else in this scene behind all of this smoke, which is his lab
Okay.
assistant. And and I'll show you her here in just a second. There she is. So she's got the beacon,
Amazing.
and now she
So
is the
good.
assistant. So when you look at the photo, it just looks like a lot of fun. It's just a lab person having a blast. She's just having a good old time in this thing, coming up with whatever concoction that they can. And in
She's
fact,
amazing.
we had those smoke bubbles going, and she was
What
saying,
how
"What
did
are
you make those
these?"
bubbles
And
fall?
then she takes her fingers and then she pops one of the bubbles, and it looks like a ghost on her tip of her finger.
Beautiful.
Anyway, so it was just a lot of fun. So let's show you how this all took place.
So
So
the little machine that you have, does it make those bubbles?
yeah, there's it's called a Smoke Ninja,
Amazing.
and
So good.
oh, just a sec. Did I even have that on the screen? My picture went hold about here. I don't know
I
if I
don't
did or if I
change it right
didn't.
now.
Hang on here. Let me see what I'm doing. How did that happen? There we go. There we go. I'm back. Hopefully that was there. I can't tell if it was or it wasn't. I'll show the scene first anyway. Now we got to put together. So what I'm showing on the screen right now, I'll make that big. I think maybe that's what happened. There we go. Is the very first element of the screen. So I had to go find a window. That was the first thing. So I went out looking to find a window. So I finally found a window that I thought that might work. So I bought it. And then in that window,
Fine.
I had to find some material to back it so that when the light goes through, it doesn't just glare and look terrible. It had to be really muted and really diffused so that the light would look soft and natural. And you'll also notice in front of that window is a bunch of test tubes. So I had to go find a
Yes.
bunch of test tubes and all that kind of thing. So, anyways, that was the
Me
first part
too.
of it. So
Yeah.
then that oh, and by the way, you'll notice that there's a blue light behind it. So I had to put a gel on a flash and then put the flash in behind the light, and that's how I got my blue background. So the next thing I wanted to
Wow.
do was to take the frame. And I wanted to light the frame up so you can see it, but I didn't want it to be white. So I put
Right.
another light in the front, and then got a red gel, and then gelled up the front of that so you can see that as well. And you can start to see a little bit of um, the device that's holding it down below. But in editing, you'll be able to get that out. So after that, okay, I got that set up. So then I set up another. That was the first portion of the scene. The second portion of the scene is all the test tube bottles and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I had to go out and first
Mhm.
of all find them. I went on for days going to all these places who had old bottles for sale, and that's what I did. I bought all these
Wow.
old bottles, right? And
Yeah.
so the next thing, once I've got that all put together, and I bought a couple of crates to put them in, so now I had to add another light. Now it's another blue light on the floor. You can see it in this photo. You can see the light of it lighting it up. But that's now
Yeah.
lighting up the bottles. So that's ready to go. So that's nice. And it actually is the same kind of light that's lighting up the window. So now we've got a nice evenly lit background.
It looks great.
All right, so there's kind of the scene a little further away, and then a couple of different angles. I'm just playing with the camera, playing with the lights, and to start to see that the window's getting a little bit pale looking. So that's because I was experimenting with lights, so we were moving stuff around. That's Waylon in the scene right now, and he's there we go. Whoops, and he's just standing there so we can get the lights right. Now you're going to see another light again, which is above his head. and it's also a blue. So that blue light that's above his head is also lighting up the bottles, and it's also acting as a bit of a
Okay.
backlight for him.
Yep.
So then there's a light now we put in the front. Now this is going to be the key light. This is the one that's going to light up the character. And we had to make sure
Mhm.
that that light lit him up, but not the rest of the scene, because the white light will wash out all those gels real quickly. So again, so
Sounds
where that light
challenging.
went and all that stuff has to be taken into consideration. So then we're
Mhm.
experimenting with he needs to be him looking at the camera. What's the shadows going to look like? And on this photo, you'll see one side of him is like split lights. So we had to put another
Yeah.
light in on the other side to fill on the other side. So now we got that key light working, and that's working good. And now you're going to look up to the top left, and you're going to see a strip light that's gridded, and we use that to kind of do the fill in on him. So now he gets totally
Mhm.
lit. No matter which way he turns, he's going to be lit. That's going to be important because as a mad scientist, he's going to be moving around a lot, and so am I with the camera. So there's going to be a lot of movement going on. So we had to make sure
Yes.
that the light was stable no matter where we were. And
Mhm.
so after we get all that together, whale and funny look on his face, then we brought in the model that we actually wanted to use. This is Crystal.
Yeah.
And so
So
even
great.
what she has on, she's got the apron on, which is a very
Yeah.
specific color, the blue gloves, which is going to work with the color and stuff in there, all the
Yes.
stuff hanging and all the tools that are in that are there.
Mhm.
The glasses that she's got on because we want her kind of crazy retro,
Yeah, the
kind of a
perfect glasses,
yeah, a cool vibe.
honestly.
So we got her
Yeah.
in there, and then we started positioning her around, finding out how is the light going to work with her. Is she lit from the head down to the torso and all the areas that were going to be lit? And anyway, so we got all that kind of worked out. Once all that was worked out, you see Waylon on the ground there now, just adjusting a light for us. We got all that worked out, and then let me just get out of this for a sec. I'll go back to the photos just for one more second. I'll put them right over if I can do this. Okay, let me just click on the picture. There we go. And the photos are up. And so there. So now after we added some smoke to the imagery, you'll notice that in this particular photo, he has a beacon and a test tube that he's pouring liquid out of. Again, keeping in mind that the color, this was all done with just water and icing dye.
Or food coloring? Yeah, great.
Yeah. So I just put the got the red and the blue again to match with the color scheme that we're doing. So this was the colors that we were using for the shot.
That's
And
a
then
perfect
again
match.
after it was all put together, we just had an absolute ball just shooting that there's Crystal there again, just
Looks
in
so
case those
fun.
pictures didn't come up at first. So that's it. So that's kind of the shoot. I'm going to come back to us, and we're back. So that's what went into that. Now, what went into that scene was probably a couple of weeks, gathering all the
Mhm.
things that we needed, researching as to how this was done, how to light it, and then we took probably a day and a half just to get the lighting right because that just doesn't happen in 10 minutes. Because if part
No.
of that scene was in the backdrop was all black, so we had to blacken out everything except for the colors that we were using. Anyway, it took a long time put together, but it was a successful shoot, and just based on the
Really
fact that
was.
we were able to pull off what I had in my noggin, and again, based on the video that I saw,
Yeah.
which got this is where
Okay.
the inspiration came from. So anyway, so that was that. So when you see a shot like that, people when you post them online are going to look at them just as fast
Yes.
as if somebody shot a kid
Yes.
with a cell phone. Click, oh yeah, flip,
Yeah.
flip, flip. But for those who enjoy it and appreciate that kind of stuff, that's what it takes. But to be able to pull that off, you got to have a good space. There's a lot that goes
Mhm.
into this, and a lot of people I think aren't aware of
Patience.
the technical and the time that goes
Yes.
into something like that.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, so it took 2 weeks and then so then how long were you shooting for like a couple hours?
We were probably 4 hours shooting
Okay. Yeah.
because I mean those
That's
are only a
decent.
few of the shots that we shot. I've got so many photos of that,
Yeah, it's
and
like you've only shown the public a few.
I've just shown a few, but there's I mean, like anything else, there's a lot of duds, like any photo shoot, and but the jewels are really nice jewels, and yeah, it's nice.
That was so great.
It's in the portfolio for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. When
So
other photographers comment on your photos too, it's like it's such a reward because, another photographer will look at that and say, "Oh, wow," just taking in the different layers of like just starting with the window and those aren't prop bottles, those are real bottles.
yeah,
And the window and just knowing that you had to get the cover on that window, it's even just that alone is that's just thought. It's such
yeah,
thought to
yeah,
not waste your time like when you decide to shoot like, "Oh no, the glare is not good."
yeah.
That's a
There's
perfectly executed shoot.
Yeah, it went well. But there was a lot of trials and tribulations, and there was some less than
Yeah.
pleasant words every once in a while when things weren't working. But that's like anything that you
Yeah,
put together
exactly.
behind the scenes, right? And
If
but
it's not
yeah,
a little bit frustrating and hard, it's not worth it, right?
it's like anything
Yeah,
in life. Like it's if you put the effort in, you usually get the rewards out of it.
yeah.
So if you plant seeds in the garden, but you don't do anything to nurture them, they're not going to grow. So
I feel
so
like that's
that's kind
especially true
of
for the gardeners this year. A lot of rain coming
you
down,
know what
so
I'm
yeah.
talking about when it comes to the
Oh
garden.
yeah. Yep.
So
So would you say so
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, would you say that's the most complex setup that you've done so far?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
done
for
some other
sure.
ones that are pretty complex that I haven't showed. There's some some 50s and 60s stuff, like that photo you see behind me. Can you see? Yeah, you can see behind me. Not the one on the bottom, but the one on top. That was
Mm,
shot. In fact, that magazine that's in that photo was from 1956. So everything was from that time era. But there's a whole scene, a whole bunch of different scenes with her, and she come in dressed to the part, and to create this really cool vibe and a lot of again another big set and a lot of
mm,
lighting and stuff like that. But yeah, so I've done a few of them, but the mad scientist one was probably I think it was my favorite so far. So
very fun, very unique.
yeah, yeah. So for you guys out there that are thinking about, how do you do these things, this is just sort of a sneak preview of what goes in to
Mm,
people like us who are really passionate about our art. And and we're so blessed that we're able to for the most part be associated with people that help us do this, and and then have the creativity to be able to kind of pull it off. And I think most people are very creative, and maybe they don't give
yeah,
themselves enough credit
I feel
because
that for
maybe they
sure.
just haven't tried it yet, right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like people are carrying around little cameras in their pockets, like, there's no like excuse is a strong word, but like I feel like if you have a little idea, just pull out your phone and see if it works.
Yeah,
We have
exactly.
the technologies with us all the time now.
Yeah. Or if you come up with an idea, if you're a photographer, because lots of times, we talked about being in a rut. We've talked about that lots of times. And sometimes a rut is just because you're not looking outside the box for different ideas or
Exactly.
different things.
Exactly.
And you
Yeah.
might discover during that journey, looking for different things, that, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this type of photography. Like you mentioned about a friend of yours that was doing macro now, and lots of macro photography, opened up a whole new world of photography
He
for him,
did.
right?
Yeah, he was stuck in his apartment due to illness and injury, and he was just like, "I need to find a new world." And that was
Mhm.
macro for him. I really do love that story.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to talk about that story someday because I think that was good. All right, we
Yeah,
are
we'll have him
down.
on. That'd be good.
We are down
Yes.
again. The mad scientist took all our time. So between the
Perfect.
keyboard person and the mad scientist, we had an absolute ball today. So thank you guys for watching with us. And again, if you would like to see more of this content, let me just figure out how to operate this thing here. Send in anything that you want to talk about to snapshots and stories at outlook.com. Watch us on Rogers, YouTube, Facebook. If you are a YouTube person and you see this, share it with your friends because the more subscribers we can get to this, and the more YouTube likes us, and we can get this out there and get all us photographers talking about what we love so much about taking pictures. So,
Exactly.
Case, anything you want to finish with?
No, if you kind of said it all, give us a like, share it. Feedback is always great, constructive criticism, something that you liked, something that you want to hear us talk about. We welcome it. Looking forward to hearing from all of you.
Perfect. All right. Well, on that note, Kate, thank you very much for your wonderful photography as usual. And thank you
You're
out there
welcome.
for watching. And we will see you on the next episode of Snapshots and Stories. So for now, we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.